Hello, welcome to another episode of Deck Musings. So up to, well, I probably always say this, probably always say up to a very interesting point in Standard in History of Magic, but yeah, this period, fascinating. I'm not going to go into a massive amount of depth about the whole Coldsnap business. I'll include links to any previous Coldsnap videos I've done in terms of pack openings and set musings and stuff like that. But I'll also include the appropriate links to the MTG wiki article, so you can read more about the whole context around this. It's an incredible rabbit hole to go down, and all the sort of mythology and like made up backstory to how Coldsnap came about. But it leads to a very interesting situation in Standard, in that for a while this was sticking around until it rotated out. I suppose you could say that, you know, the card pool in Standard was a lot larger than up to that point. So here you can see we've got a situation where we've got both sets and a core set. And so 8 sets in total. The only time you ever see this sort of situation, I think, is when you have both sets and 2 core sets, which we have seen before. There was a period where both core sets are floating around, and also once they went to core sets yearly, that was also the case, where you'd have Standard where you'd have both the, you know, the outgoing core set and the incoming core set would be in Standard for a certain window. But the interesting thing with this is that carries over. So you've got Coldsnap sitting around in the background until it's time for it to be rotated out. So that makes Standard all through that period a lot larger. Well, that's the way it looks to me anyway, than it would be obviously without it. The other interesting thing is the duplicate count is, pretty low until you get up to a point where 9th edition actually dropped out and 10th edition came in here. So in this period, actually looking, I know we're going a bit forward here, we've got a situation where we don't have, a situation where I was just thinking, imagine that we have 9th edition, 10th edition and Coldsnap, but that doesn't happen actually in this sort of way around. So yeah, anyway, back to here. So what to do with this? When I do these episodes, what I tend to do is I don't spend an awful amount of time looking for a tournament deck if my initial sort of push through or look through something doesn't bubble up real quick. So generally what I'll do is I'll dig around in this where it's alluding to here in terms of what was, what tournaments were going on. So here we've got, Japan, nationals in Japan, Spain and Netherlands. And so I did have a look at least one of these, maybe more, depending on how much information I found easily. And to be honest, the decks that I looked at, certainly for the top 8, it didn't look like Coldsnap cards were having a major, didn't feature majorly in the deck. Now you're probably aware, anybody who knows the set is probably aware of some, fairly important cards in Coldsnap. But it was just, I had, difficulty for the limited amount of searching that I did it didn't. What I'm saying is, I'm going to get around to saying this actually. Nothing really just leapt out straight away. So I do what I normally do at this point is go, okay, well, if that's the case, let's just look at an event deck. And actually, I think looking at an event deck is the best option. And what I'll sometimes do is look at the event deck and they'll go, no, actually, I should really try harder to find a tournament deck. But I suddenly noticed something in the event deck, and I think it's better to deal with an event deck for this episode, as I've done with the past with other things. I'm going to talk about the Snowscape, the blue-black theme deck with a snow super type theme. I'll include a link to this in MTG Wiki so you can read through overall here the sort of strategy behind the deck. But we're going to go through the cards individually, and as we do that, like always, we'll hopefully see the theme of the deck and how it might be played sort of bubble up through just looking at it. And then we'll go through the usual thing of looking at the individual cards and then seeing where that takes us in the history of Magic, both going backwards from this point in time and obviously going forwards. Okay, so here we go. And I wonder if you noticed the thing I got excited about when I revisited this deck. I've got 2 of these decks out of the 4 actually in paper. The one I have is the Caldoran Cunning deck, and my favourite one, this one, Beyond the Grave. And I've featured this probably numerous times in various guises or various excuses to feature this deck through the history of this channel. So I didn't want to go back to this deck. It was tempting, but I thought I better not. I better do something new. So let's have a look at this. So anyway, so the first time I opened these in paper, I noticed something really interesting because I hadn't read about the set, I don't think, before I opened that first theme deck. And you'll notice something very strange going on here. So because of the whole backstory around this, and again you can read about this further, the theme decks included reprints from Ice Age and alliances. 2 things you'll notice: the set symbol has been slightly redesigned, so a bit more modernized. Also, you've got things that you wouldn't have had before, which is a color indicator for rarity, which wouldn't have featured way back when Alliances, way back when Ice Age was originally released. This is, to all intents and purposes, and part of the sort of made up story behind this, this is the 3rd, so Coldsnap is the 3rd set of the Ice Age block. So that's sort of where they went with this. Pushed out the other set that was originally part of the Ice Age block. So, anything else? Oh yeah, of course the obvious thing. New borders. So new card frames, should I say? So these were pushed into the new card frames. So let's go through this deck. And as we do, you'll notice that obviously what it's trying to do is work off of the themes and mechanics from the original block. So you've got things like cantrips, cumulative upkeep, snow, pitch cards. They've got some stuff that they've added in as well, but we'll see those in a moment. So let's have a look at Coldsnap, the replacement for Homelands in the Ice Age block. So we have 1 Arcum's Weathervane, which is 2 to cast. 2, tap it. Target snowland is no longer snow. 2, tap it. Target's non-snow land, basic land becomes snow. Okay. 1 Coldsteel Heart, 2 to cast. It's a snow artifact. Comes into play tapped. But when it comes into play, you choose a colour. And when you get to be able to use that, you can add 1 mana of the chosen colour to your mana pool. So yeah, interesting mana rock in the set. Okay. 3 Rimebound Deads. I've got this on a curve. 27 creatures, but because it's an event, not an event, I keep calling them event decks, don't I? Because it's a theme deck. Yeah, we've got lots of sort of 1-ofs, 2-ofs, 3-ofs. I don't know. We'll see if there's any 4-ofs in here, but it tends to be an unlikely thing in a theme deck generally. Right, so yeah, Rimebound Dead, single black, 1/1. Okay, that's on curve, and regenerate Rimebound Dead. So here we've got this again interesting symbol. So that particular symbol, snow mana, can be paid with 1 mana from a snow permanent. Two Mistfolks, 2 to cast, 2 blue, it's a 1/2, and single blue counter target spell that targets Mistfolk. So this is a reprint from Ice Age. Rimebound Taskmage, 1 and a blue, 1/2 from Coldsnap. 1 tap or untap target permanent. A lot of tapping going on there. Playing this ability only if you control 4 or more snow permanents. 1 Viscerid Drone, 1 and a blue, 1/2. Tap, sacrifice a creature and a swamp. Okay. Destroy target non-artifact creature. It can't be regenerated. Tap, sacrifice a creature and snow swamp. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. So yeah, you'll probably notice. Imagine the trouble they had here. So this is actually a reprint. And yeah, look at all this additional costs here. So must have been tricky trying to retroactively design a set to fit in with the power level of stuff from back then. So we'll have a look and see what they may have done on the actual Coldsnap cards, but yeah, certainly something to keep your eye open for with this set. So we've got 1 Balduvian Frostwaker, 2 and a blue for a 1/1. Blue tap, target snowland becomes a 2/2 blue elemental creature with flying. It's still a land. 1 Chilling Shade, 2 and a black, 1/1 with flying. Again, it's got this snow mana symbol here. Chilling Shade gets 1/1 until end of turn, and again you can pay that with 1 mana from a snow permanent. 2 Frost Raptors, 2 and a blue, 2/2, flying. Double snow permanent mana. Frost Raptor can't be the target of spells or abilities this turn. 1 Gangrenous Zombies, 2 and 2 black, 2/2. Tap it, sacrifice Gangrenous Zombies. It deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. If you control a snow swamp, Gangrenous Zombies deals 2 damage to each creature and each player instead. 2 Legions of Lim-Dûl, 1 and 2 black, so 2/3 with snow and swamp walk. So on this line here, as you look across, you can see we've got 2 cards that are reprints from Ice Age. Blizzard Specter, okay, a Spectre. So see what they've done here with Spectres to try and to maybe dial back the power or not. So we'll see. So yeah, from Coldsnap, looks like that could be an uncommon. 2 blue-black, so 2/3 with flying. Whenever Blizzard Spectre deals combat damage to a player, choose 1. That player returns a permanent he or she controls to its owner's hand, or that player discards a card. So yeah, very Spectre-like. So that's a 2/3 for 4. So with flying. Yeah, so really not. Hopefully we'll get to look at some other Spectres and put that on a curve, just see whether it was really dialed back much. Don't think so though. 2 to cast, Star. What did I say? 2 costs, sorry. 2 copies, a 3 and a black for a Star. Drift of the Dead's a reprint
from Ice Age. It's got Defender. Drift of the Dead's power and toughness are each equal to the number of snowlands you control. It's 1 Phantasmal Fiend, 3 in a black, so 1/5, and it's from Alliances. Single black gives it +1, -1 until end of turn. So, maybe at this time, if you were playing Magic around here, maybe you hadn't seen this sort of weird lopsided power toughness thing where you got +1, -1. One blue black, one and a blue. Switch Phantasmal Fiend's power and toughness until end of turn. Yeah, have to be a bit careful there. 2 Rimewind Cryomancer, 3 and a blue, 2/3. 1 tap, counter target, activated ability. Play this ability only if you control 4 or more snow permanents. And that's from Coldsnap. Zombie Musher, 2 of those, 3 in black. Snow and Land Walk. More mana generated from snow permanents, or that can be paid with 1 mana from a snow permanent. Regenerate Zombie Musher. 1 copy of Heidar, Rimewind Master, 4 and a blue, 3/3, legendary creature. 2 tap, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Place ability only if you control 4 or more snow permanents. So you can see there's a few here with that caveat on them. Condition. A single copy of Storm Elemental, 5 and a blue. Does have flying, it's a 3/4. A single blue, remove the top card of your library from the game. Tap target creature with flying. So you're using like additional cost of exiling your top card to pay for the privilege of being able to tap a target creature with flying. Single blue, remove the top card from your library from the game. If the removed card is a snowland, Storm Elemental gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And that was from Alliances. And then we have a single Rimefeather Owl, 5 and 2 blue, star with flying. Its power and toughness is equal to the number of snow permanents you in play. 1, and again this snow permanent mana. Put an ice counter on target permanent. Permanents with ice counters on them are snow. Okay. 6 enchantments. 2 essence flares. Single blue. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature is +2/+0. At the beginning of your upkeep. Sorry, at the beginning of the upkeep of enchanted creature's controller. Put a 0 -1 counter on that creature. 1 Iceberg, X and 2 blue. Comes into play with X ice counters on it. 3, put an ice counter on Iceberg so you can replenish the ice counters through the card's own mechanic. And then remove an ice counter from Iceberg. Add 1 to your mana pool. Or should I say the card's own ability. 2 Snow Devils. 1 and a blue. Another enchantment aura. To enchant a creature. The enchanted creature has flying and has first strike as long as it's blocking and you control a snowland. 1 Browse from Alliances. 2 and 2 blue. And then we've got an activation in here. 2 and 2 blue. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, then put 1 of them into your hand, remove the rest from the game. A lot of stuff getting exiled. Okay, this is interesting. So we've got a Chill to the Bone. So 3 and a black, destroy target non-snow creature. Okay, land base, 24 lands. It's interesting here, isn't it? The price of these snowlands, the basic snowlands. So we've got 1 Frost Marsh, which was the dual land of the set. They came into play tapped. They tapped for blue or black, but they were also snowlands. Then we have in the deck 12 snow-covered islands, basic snowland island, and then 11 snow-covered swamps, basic snowland swamp. We have
a theme deck here, so no sideboard. There was probably a promo card with this, like a foil card, I suspect. Although, yeah, I didn't look at my decks prior to doing this, so, but yeah. I'll probably find some excuse to revisit those ones I have in paper at some point on my Saturday artwork video, my Saturday deck. Well, it's more specifically Saturday decks revisited, actually. Okay, there's the curve. The reason why that's there is because of that, you know, mana rock we looked at. Okay. So, anything else to add really to this? Well, certainly, it's interesting, isn't it? Because, yeah, I like theme decks and you know, many intro decks, but theme decks I like it because at that point, you know, the theme decks, there's that period with the theme decks where they were 60 cards, apart from the core set theme decks, which I believe were 40. And then they did that weird thing when they moved over to intro decks where they made them, what, 41? So the thing I like about theme decks is you've got a 60 card deck, so like a proper standard legal deck, albeit, you know, a little bit strange, but the low count on the cards, that nice variability you get, and if you're not obsessed with winning all the time, but you're more like me and you just love the card interactions and the whole combinator, I can never say that word, combinatorics behind everything, having that high variance in the deck really like appeals to that attraction to the game, basically. So, okay. Do I really want to talk? I'm just trying to decide with this. Do I want to talk a little bit more about the strategy with this? I mean, you can see here, obviously, you've got your snowlands, so you've got synergies, and they get more powerful with snow permanents around. And you can see cards here that sort of bequeath snowness to things. So, of course, what you're looking for is trying to get that synergy to work best. And the other thing to note with this, you know, we've got some low casting cost creatures here. Okay, so, and there's 3 1-drops. But you can see here, this has regenerate on it. So I think the key with this deck, and it's sort of in the deck blurb, is this sort of defensive posture initially. And the fact that, you know, you can spend any colour of mana to regenerate that. If you look at your mana base, you know, they're all snowlands. So, yeah. So you're chump blocking, but then you get to regenerate that. So a lot of choice here, a lot of thought going into like how to best spend your mana and whether to, you know, reserve stuff. You've got evasion. You know, a number of these creatures have flyers. And you've got several creatures which scale, albeit in potentially, just trying to look how, well, no, scale off snowlands, don't they? I'm just looking to see whether there's anything like dialing them back a little bit, which is something else, again, like I said, to consider here, how the deck's been dialed back to see the power level of the era, of the Ice Age era, and how that balance, you know, may be different than what you're used to. Because I know back then, you know, creatures weren't particularly powerful, but you could argue that non-creature spells were more powerful. So yeah, I mean, a deck built by, you know, it gives away from its title, built around snow synergies, and taking initially a defensive posture, so that you can wind up, uptick, and just get in a position, I suppose, to be able to cast those things that are going to have a major impact on the board. So there's this thing as well. We got, you notice a number of these have rhyme wind in them, and they're the ones where there's this additional what would you call it, barrier to overcome of having 4 or more snow permanents. So yeah, so you only be able to get to use their abilities if that happens. So again, yeah. How many copies of that Balduvian Frostwaker? Yeah, just one again. Okay, so let's dive in. So yeah, only one. I think it was only one piece of artwork, wasn't it, for this this set for each of the colours of mana. But nice nonetheless. There's the original ones, cool. And of course here, this is quite nice when you look down here, because it's only showing you corresponding snowlands. It's a lot easier when you're looking at basic snowlands than when you're looking at regular basic lands, in terms of there's not too many versions, if you like, or however you want to think about it, reprints of them. Okay. So yeah, but nice, yeah. Certainly looking forward to the Friday artwork video anyway with Codsnap. Be cute, be cool. Of course, there we will just see all the Codsnap stuff, because it was different with the boosters. They just did the reprint thing for the theme decks. So yeah, this Frost Marsh. Let's just see. I mean, it's a rabbit hole we've been down quite a bit, because you're going to see the usual things. Yeah, it was part of a cycle which we'll look at, but let's just see. So similar to Ice Tunnel. Yeah. So the difference here is with the Ice Tunnel, can you see it also does specifically reference Island Swamp, which, yeah, we've talked about in previous episodes with dual lands that specifically reference the basic land type, and how that can be leverages with certain fetches where they specifically reference a land type. So yeah, interesting to see that turn up in a later set. We've got Salt Marsh. So this is the regular, tap land, if you like, without it being a snow land. So similar to that. Also, in the same breath, they're considering this card to be better than Salt Marsh, and that's because of the snow synergy. So, some things sometimes turn out better than because they have a synergy with other cards. Rather than just there's something on here that inherently, in another ability, say, specifically like an extra thing you can do with it that would make it better. Here it's because it's a snowland. Similar to Dimil Guildgates, where that was one of these tap lands, just happened to be again a gate that has that additional thing where there were certain cards around that set that was originally printed in that leveraged the gate subtype. We've got also similar to Submerged Boneland, enters the battlefield tapped, blue-black, and considered to be better than Submerged Boneland. Same reason for Salt Marsh, but you can see already this whole comes into play tap dual land, it has been revisited numerous times, both in terms of just reprinting them, but also doing functional reprints, you know, where you've got the same thing but a different name, but also it's like slightly tweaked reprints where they have, like, say, an additional quality or feature or something about them. So yeah, part of the cycle. Here's the cycle. As you can see, you know, the giveaway is that if at this point they're all the same set symbol, these haven't been reprinted. Nice artwork. Yeah. Let's just look at that blown up a bit more. How big can we get this? There we go. I'm assuming there was some attempt to make it fit aesthetically with Ice Age block to some degree. Yeah, I think I do really need to revisit those decks in paper again. I'll have a look, see how many times I've done it. But yeah, the two theme decks would be worthwhile because it would be an interesting way to look at how the artwork looks alongside, you know, stuff from Ice Age, stuff from Alliances, which has been represented in the framework, in the frame, which is a great way of doing it with those theme decks because all the frames are the same. Okay, Balduvian Frostwaker. Yeah, hopefully we'll go down some different rabbit holes than usual. Okay, animate land. I'm sure we've looked at that before, but we'll take a look at it anyway. Gives flying colour change. Okay, so what's that about? So, okay, I thought it might mean that, but I'm just trying to see what I'm missing here. Target no land becomes a 2/2 blue elemental creature with flying. Still a land. Well, yeah, I suppose. Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, I see where they're going with that logic. So yeah, because that snow land could be potentially any colour. So in this particular deck, but just outside the deck as well, you know, it could be a snow plains, a snow forest. Yeah, okay, I see. Not surprisingly, synergy with snow, which is on 62 cards, which we'll also have a look at, I think. But I was curious about this and whether I have in fact looked at it before. Doesn't look like I have. So again, I'm just judging by the autocomplete not coming up. Well, of course, we've got to do this, haven't we? What's this? This is what I love about this series. Is you just suddenly get these cards come up, you go, okay, I just don't know that card at all. Okay, I love that. And so forth. Look at the wording, that's amusing. So for the cast, this is Chroma Spell. I don't know how well you can see that. Treat all swamps as in play as 1/1 creatures. Now they can be enchanted, killed, and so forth. And they can be tapped either for mana or to attack. Swamps have no colour. They are not considered black cards. Okay. Has that ever been reprinted? Oh yeah, a few times. What's the cheapest copy? 4th edition. You can see it's been errated here. A lot simpler. All swamps are 1/1 black creatures that are still lands. That would be amusing, wouldn't it, in a mono black deck? Oh, that's made me smile. Okay. Yeah, wow. The living lands. I was just looking at this thinking, imagine they'd made this, but hadn't stipulated swamps, it's just any land. All lands in play as both lands. Creatures. They moved up to the first turn they brought up. Creatures are still lands. So, oh yeah, okay, then that's interesting as well. That's I completely forgot that. This is across the board, isn't it? Yeah, okay. I tend to miss that sometimes. So yeah, all. So not just your stuff. I love that phrasing though, and so forth. They need to bring that back, I think. Needs to come back. Oh. There's our buddy. I'm really looking forward to getting up to this period. It just, I think we're going to have some pretty wacky set musings. Not set musings, sorry, deck musings. Well, I suppose it depends on how much they featured in tournament decks, but I'll do my best to make sure we feature as many cards as we can from that block. Because I'm just curious as to what went down in tournament play. Particularly when we get to the whole. I wonder if I can find like a complete block constructed event for that, like a tournament. That would be cool. Right, I'm really enjoying myself today. Oh, I do enjoy these episodes all the time, but yeah, some days it's just particularly you have a card that makes you smile. I've been doing a lot of Yoga Nidra recently, and it's made me sort of super chill and relaxed, and I did a really good session this morning. So, yeah, I said I was going to look at this because there's only about 62 here. Yeah, as you probably gather with these, I tend to like it when... oops. I was looking up Ballerni numbers. But not Balloon, but Bernoulli. Whoops. I messed up there, big time. Okay. Yeah, that was... something I'm getting prepared for. What was it? That Bernoulli number was research for my upcoming series on history of programming languages. Yeah, there's a link between Bernoulli numbers and Ada Lovelace. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some research for that. I've already started some stuff. Anyway, back to the Magic the Gathering. Okay. Well, no surprise here. We've got a lot of snow synergy in Ice Age. A little bit in alliances, but then yeah, that was a weird period in Magic. I mean, when people talk about, or a few years talk about Ice Age block, blocks weren't really properly thought through at that point. And it took them a little while as well, you know, when you look at the difference between what would be Tempest block and Mirage. Oh, yeah, sorry, Mirage was first, wasn't it? Mirage into Tempest. Yeah, that was, I think, one of the reasons why I chose not to start the original. I think, if I'm right, and it was, you know, probably a couple of years ago I started, but the original set Musings, which sort of predates deck Musings, the original set Musings, I'm pretty sure I didn't start with the very first sort of proper block, just because it was still being sorted out. So there's always an opportunity at some point in the future of set Musings, of any sets like that I missed out, to go back to, I think. And we're going to see a return on Wednesday, the Wednesday that this video goes out. So it's going out on Monday, and the following Wednesday I'm going to release a triumphant return to set Musings, where we're going to look at some Portal stuff, which I'm looking forward to. I'll be recording that video after I've recorded this one, actually. Oh, look at that. So yeah, no surprise there. You can see, just while I've been babbling away, there's Coldsnap stuff. Diamond Fairy. It's got scrying sheets. And then this stuff from Modern Horizons. Interesting that they decided to go for snow synergies in Modern Horizons, and look, it's got modern in the title, so that means we're going to be taking a look at that in a future set Musings. Yeah. Once I've done the Portal stuff. Oh, of course, yeah. Had it in, and again quite a bit. What did we get it in? I did put it into Jumpstart. Okay. Animated land, yeah. Ah, Spectres. Okay. How can I go down this rabbit hole without repeating myself? Right. So it was a later draft cycle. Part of a draft cycle, which we've seen on and off quite a bit recently. You know, it was like an older card was reprinted and stuck in a different cycle, and may not have even been in any cycle originally. Okay, bounce, discard, modal, removal, bounce, evasion, opponent chooses saboteur. So I think the best thing I can do here, because this is the thing that interested me most with this card, is look at types of Spectre. Which I've done before, but I wanted to see whether CMC is 4. Okay, so it's good. We got 10 Spectres, CMC 4, and we'll sort them by release date and ascending. Okay, so Abyssal Spectre was a 2/3 for 4, and whenever it did damage, that's flying. Whenever it did damage, that player chooses and discards a card from his hand. Ignore this ability if the player has no cards in hand. Blizzard Spectre, when it does combat damage to player, choose one. That player returns a permanent he or she controls to its owner's hand. So you get to either bounce or discard. Interesting. So I would say they haven't really. Well, yeah, actually, yeah. So that, yeah. Actually, no. That. Sorry. Let me just think before I speak. Yeah. So, yeah. If anything, this has extra utility, doesn't it? So, how is this? Yeah. So, okay. Let's just look at this logically. So we've got 2 and 2 black, This is 2 blue-black, so yeah. So it's interesting, isn't it, when you look at the casting cost? So, you know, how is it harder to cast? Well, obviously, Abyssal Spectre is harder to cast in a multicoloured deck. So in a monocolour black deck, you're not really worried too much that it's, you know, 2 black instead of being so 3 and a single black versus 2 and 2 black in a mono black deck. Yeah, not a problem. However, in a multicolour deck, then yeah, it gets harder to cast because there's a chance that you might have, you know, you may have all black mana and you haven't managed to pull the other colour. You know, sorry, you may. Oh dear me. This is what happens when you get too relaxed. So yeah, you may have access to like a single black and everything else might be in the other colour. But by the time you go up to your 4-drop, you're going to be pretty unlucky, I suppose, if that's the case. Whereas this, you know, harder. You've got the blue-black. So yeah. So both are you know, versus anything where it might be, say, yeah, like this. Both of these are slightly harder to cast under certain circumstances. Let's look at the Fell Spectre, because I'm just seeing if is there another 2/3 here where, yeah, all the 2/3s do have 2 of some kind of coloured mana. So we have a 2/2 here with flying and haste. It's this one. +3 to see as long as the player has no cards in hand. Okay. Spectre deals combat damage, player that. I discard a card. Okay. So that one's really leveraging the ability. Sorry, the ability here. But apart from that one, which has the potential to be, what, a 5/5, is there anything else that's better than a 2/3 in terms of just... No, I don't think anything buffs the power toughness, does it? No. But yeah, it's a fascinating thing, I think, to look at. It's just to sit there with a certain type of card like this on a certain point in the curve and just sort of go through historically and just see, you know, was there a shift in power? I think it's interesting, isn't it, with these. You see that one there. So we've got the benefit of being 3 and a black. It's got flying. This one, when it enters the battlefield, the target opponent discards a card, so it doesn't keep, you know, doing it every time you're doing combat damage. So yeah, I think these two are probably my favourites out of the Spectre. This point on the curve with the Spectres. I mean, this is pretty cool. This is a 2/2 version. It does have the advantage of haste on it, which does put it ahead, doesn't it? Which makes sense, you know, playing black-red, you want it in an aggressive deck. Okay, let's better move on now. Chilling Shade. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, an old favourite which we've seen on several occasions here. Shade Pump. So we'll just quickly put it on the historical line. There you go. So that's what so-called shade pump looks like. You can see here. It's sort of the chosen. Oh, Feldegrave, Chromat. I love this card. Oh, there's all the ATOGs, of course, they all have shade pump. Well, all those ones anyway. You can see we've got a bit of it in the Kamigawa block. And yeah, in the block we've just been through. A few here. And you can see here's the definition. Effects the given arbitrary amount of +1/+1 until end of turn. See also fire breathing in red and armouring in white. Drift of the Dead. Synergy with Snowlands. Yep. Which we've had a look at already. So, of course, on the downside it is a wall, so it has Defender. Which means we can't attack with it. Frost Raptor. Okay, let's have a look. Oh yeah, that's, I'll have to look at that. So this gains Shroud. So you have a couple of things. I'll look at Windrake with set mechanic. Okay. It's an interesting tagline, which, yeah, as you can probably see, we've not pinned down. So where do we first see that? Oh, here. Okay, Frost Raptor. Okay, what do you see it in? Was it blue? Okay. So here it's Unearth. Bestow, Kicker, Lieutenant. Oh, a mass there. What's this? Bring to life. Venture into the dungeon. Okay, that's an interesting thing I wasn't aware of. And there's Windrake. 2/2 for 3 with flying. So you can see, let's just see anyway, yep. So 2/2s for 3 with flying and then some sort of set ability. Gangrenous Zombies. Oh, sorry. Let me got a bit ahead of myself. Let me just check to see if there was any. There was something else here, wasn't there? Oh yeah, Gain Shroud. I just wanted to check to see. Wow, we haven't looked at that before either. Cool. Okay, Deep Spawn and Homerid Warrior. Right. But yeah, not a thing from Ice Age, not a thing from Alliances, unless some of these were reprinted for those sets. Because of course I'm looking at the first printing, but it would have had to have been at this point, wouldn't it? They would have had to have reprinted. I don't think these got reprinted in Ice Age. I can't remember actually the order. There's Frost Raptor. Okay, Wander, of course. Yeah, was it? I'm looking forward to getting up to this period in tournament play, actually. Right, Gangrenous Zombies. Bombard self. Okay, so one damage to each creature and each player. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah. Symmetrical martyr effect, which we've looked at martyr effects before, I think. Yep. Burn each player. Sweeper control. It's bombard self. Yeah, we have. Okay. But let's just map that out on the history line again, so we can see where it is. Yeah, I've got it on land. If I do something weird there. Yeah. Thought that was wrong. That's better. Okay. Heliophile. Looks like he's throwing some shapes there. Oh yes. Some very amusing artwork. Oh, there's Mouth of Ronom. I don't know if this is probably not going to come up in the episode. Tap, add 1 to your mana pool, 4, and then Night Snow permanent mana. Tap, sacrifice Mouth of Ronom. Mouth of Ronom deals 4 damage to target player. Target creature, I meant to say. And I don't think it was included in any of the event decks. I'm just having a quick look now. And I can't remember how I became aware of this. Yeah. I will have to see on Friday whether I did open any of these. Certainly don't remember opening it, you know, because I happened to open a set where there were cards from the list on it. Aha! It's a legend. Okay. Oh yeah, because it's bouncing a target permanent to its owner's hand, but only if you control 4 or more snow permanents. So yeah, you get to bounce all these different permanents. And as it says here, we have synergy with snow. Of course, that includes planeswalkers. Yep, so we probably looked at most of these in some sort of form. Just get an overall thing. So 41, 44, 47, 43. Interesting. $50 cards that just do any permanent, like it does. 36, 234. And 46, and yet we got 50 in here that do any permanent. Yeah, been here. Again. absence of anything new to say, it's just good old boomerang. Oh yeah, recoil. Oh, it was one of the modal things on Crisis Charm as well. And there's Blizzard Specter. Because there's the option to bounce a permanent. Yeah, I'm really warming to this actually. This is an interesting card. Yep, we got Venser. So that then, let's have a look at legendaries. Do that. Okay. Yeah. I don't do this actually. I don't think I've ever done this. I'm just curious as to 60 decks. Okay. So yeah, there's your. Let's have a look at the average deck. Okay. So yeah, there's your average deck. Does it cost it out? I don't know if it does. Oh, you can do the budget, can't you? Yeah. There's a link there to playtest an architect. Cool. Ah, Arcanus. Wow. Wow, look, it's a fun looking deck. What would the budget version look like? 6 decks. So what's the difference? Oh, it's tempting. It does look nice though, doesn't it? Just, yeah, just as a deck. Let me grab that. Not necessarily for an episode, but I'm going to export that. Cool. Okay. Legions of Lim-Dûl. Alright, yeah, reprint. It's nice as well in the, as you can see, if you haven't spotted it already, in Scryfall, you know, it's got it in here. That's what I love about Scryfall. They've got like all the different versions of stuff. So cool. Okay. Hate snow. Well, you know, so you've got to have some hate snow, haven't you, in a carrying about snow set. Hate set mechanic. 229 cards that hate the set mechanic. Have we have, yeah. Okay. That was amusing. Well, first card to do that, according to Scryfall, was King Suleiman. Tap to destroy an Efreet or a Djinn. Oh, yeah, okay. The expression on the Arctic Fox's face. Obviously not enjoying its environment. So 2/3 with Snow Swamp Walk. Okay, Mistfolk. Counter target spell that targets Mistfolk. So what's that going to be categorised as? Because that's like a counter target spell that targets Mistfolk. Yeah, so it's only reusable to itself. I mean, yeah. I was just thinking about, you know, that whole relationship to hexproof and shroud and stuff like that. Okay, Phantasmal Fiend. Wow. There's the original. So, of course, again, and I've not even bothered. I mean, there's so many rabbit holes you can go down from this set just because of, you know, the connection to the earlier stuff. You know, the fact that in Alliances you've got, you know, different versions, otherwise of the same card. And there's the Deckmaster stuff as well. And it did get reprinted online as well. Right. What do we know? Flowstone. Abilities that grant plus... Oh, okay. Here we go. Because we were... Oh, damn it. Whoops. Yeah. I did not want that to happen. Let me just... there we go. Let me just get rid of that out of the clipboard. There we go. Save as. There we go. It's done. Oh, it's just that deck list from earlier. Oh no, I've got myself really confused. Yeah. Release date. Ascending. Okay, Ashnod's Battle Gear. So yeah, this whole, yeah, you can see it here. And they called it Flowstone. Oh yeah, okay. I was just trying to remember the set. I didn't want to open my mouth before checking which set we had a load of Flowstone stuff. But yeah, there we go. Tempest, that's right. Tempest into Stronghold. And then they also stuck it on Morphling in Urza's Saga. You can see it in Urza actually. And yeah, Skull Clamp. So it's interesting, yeah, it's interesting where that, yeah, lopsided, asymmetrical ability turns up throughout Magic. And it's on Piracy Charm, which was a colour shifted card. And then Torchling and Thornling. All the lings. Etherling. Okay, I'm going to have to do it, aren't I? Anything with ling in the name. I think that needs to be a thing here. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Oh, he's fledgling, yeah, so I'm going to go with that. Okay. It's Rackling.
course, yeah, all the things like shambling. Do they... I'm just looking to see whether... Oh, there we go. I knew there must be something somewhere that was categorized under. Should have just gone back to the original tags, I suspect. Would have been easier, wouldn't it? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this is really interesting. So do they all have the flowstone, yeah, like thing on it? Because it did so, didn't it? I think. Was it here? Yeah. Cards with flowstone and capacity to gain additional abilities or invasion. Yeah. Cool. Rimebound Dead. So another Rimebound. Just regenerates self. But always handy in a reanimation deck or something where you're sacking things for a bonus, and then this way, if you sack this, you can get it back, you can regenerate it. I mean, maybe I need to look at... Let's see if I've... Regenerate. And its power... No. Let's do this differently. Type. Creature. And CMC of 1. Yep. Just see. I'm just interesting about stuff that's on the like a first drops which have regenerate. Okay, so that does it that way. Abu Jafar. Oh, they can't be regenerate. Right, okay, so it doesn't. So there's going to be some in here where cannot. And that might be similar to that one I was trying to do before. So minus Oracle. Is that going to do it? Maybe get rid of the other stuff. Well, it seems to have done. At least I've got this in here, so yeah. Let's go back in there. Maybe do it from here. Would be a better idea. Assuming it's going to be the same, but I'll do it anyway. So what was it before? Yeah, it is the same. Okay. Doesn't make any difference. Didn't think it would, but sometimes it's worth checking. Okay, 13 1-drops, right. Just put it on the curve of history. On the line of history. Okay, Will of the Wisp. Yep, Gangrenous Dead. Rimebound Dead. Okay. Cool. Excellent. Rimefeather Owl. Aesthetic counter. And type change. Oh, okay, yeah, I can see now. If we have no rules meaning, that's interesting. Wow, we're certainly getting a lot of new holes here that we've not been down before. What token do they specifically say here? Oh, okay. So they've done this. I was curious as to whether they've created like a specific token in the errata. So they don't mention. They just say mark the change lands with tokens. But here they specifically refer to them as Maya counters. Excellent. Okay. Life matrix. So that's always interesting to look at, see what they subsequently call them rather than just call them one counter or whatever. So they're referred to as matrix counters. That does say parallelization counters. So yeah, now we're getting into the area where they're specifically giving it a name. Page counter, that was bounty. Gold counter, flood counter. Training counter on that. I can't even read that. Burn, 3rd degree burn counter. Blood counter. Ice. Baby. Flood. Mannequin counter. Feather. And so on. Yeah, remember these quest counters? And these, on the Ascensions and on the quests. Ascension quests, what did Expeditions have on them? They had quests as well, yeah. Okay, that whole thing in Zendikar. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so interesting when we get up to that point, isn't it? Some of the tournament decks that were floating around then. Cool. More flood counters. I mean, difficult to know there. I wasn't really counting, but definitely, did we see more flood counters than anything? There seemed to be quite a few of those. I suppose were the quest counters actually thinking about it were the most thing we've seen, I think. Just because the sheer amount of them that were in that particular set. Did it bubble over into the next block? I don't think it did. It was just quest counters are a really big thing. Oh, here we go, yeah. We got them in World Wake. Right, mind. Oh yeah, the 4 or more snow trigger thingy. Reusable, another reusable counter spell. This one is countering target activated abilities. And of course we did look at that a moment ago. Another card with a similar thing on it. So. Right. Tap or untap target. Permanent. Tap a permanent. Yeah, twiddle. Can also untap itself. Actually, synergy with snow. So twiddle, And that, I think we were looking at Twiddle quite a bit in, you know, around the time it came out and just after. There you go, all the way back. Well, whatever set was featuring a Twiddle type effect. I think it was probably Twitch, actually, where, yeah, it would have been, yeah, if I'm thinking about deck musings, then, yeah, around here we were revisiting that type of ability quite a bit, because it came up a lot, and there were sort of certain decks, you know, that were featuring it either in sideboards or main decks. Sort of Cold Trickster, Pestamite, Fate Stitcher, Reality Spasm, yeah, it's a thing. Derivi, it's got it. What else? Anything else that really? Yeah, so probably, oh, of course, yeah, Rolzaric. Niblis of the Breath from Dark Ascension. And these, was that part of a cycle? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Oh yeah, okay. Oh. Yeah, looking at this now, definitely looking forward to getting up to, yeah, Alara era tournament decks with all the different, you know, like 3-colour stuff. Yeah, and there's a couple of times now where it's been tempting to do multiple episodes in the same era, like the same era in Standard, and that may happen. I think when we get up to that point, we'll see what happens, but. You know, with the different sort of shards, might be a good excuse to maybe do that for a few weeks. Hover over a particular era. Storm Elemental. Okay. Hate flying. So yeah, flying hate is a thing, and no surprise, yeah, it's a, I would say, predominantly a green thing. Another one with Shade Pump, courtesy of this, but it's conditional. We've got Tapper on here as well, synergy with snow stuff. Yeah. And look at the artwork. Crazy. You know, Viscerid Drone. Oh yeah. The Homerids. Obviously they weren't too tempted to go for Homerid Tribal in this set. Well, I'm assuming not, but yeah, maybe we don't want to go down that rabbit hole. It's tempting. Creature type Arcum. Okay. So, yeah. Sacrifice element, synergy snow, removal creature, destroy. Let me just go in here and see what's going on. Okay. I'm assuming I must have looked at Homerids before, but maybe not. Okay. So what can we learn about Homerids? Well, firstly, there's not many of them in Magic. We've got 2 from Fallen Empires. Oh, actually, I bet they're probably all from Fallen Empires, those ones. Let me just do is for damn it. So I've been copying that stuff backwards and forwards. So right, that's better. I thought that would be the case. So yeah, you have to blame Fallen Empires for homerids. So we have 4 of them in here, and there's 1 from Alliances, which is the one that we were looking at, but of course it's been reboarded. And then there's a Viscerid Deepwalker, and this was a thing, and no doubt we'll probably see it when we get to Time Spiral of, like often featuring creature types that hadn't been around for a while in that particular block. And then we got the Dominaria block, and you saw that as well there, just because of the nature of the plane it was on, and the fact that it was, there was nods back to Dominaria and earlier cards. So yeah, not much room there. I mean, okay, you can put in a few shapeshifters, but yeah, if you ever want to do Homerid tribal, yeah, you're out of luck a bit. Okay, so they didn't even... What? Oh yeah, I was going to say, did they have the audacity not to print multiple artwork for these? Only for the Homerid itself and the Warrior. I don't know. Decisions, what would be my favourite, if you can indeed call it favourite. What's the silliest? Maybe that one. That's pretty amusing, I think. Do we want to... You know what I'm going to have to do, don't you? Let's just see. I've really done this sort of thing, going down a EDH rabbit hole from here. Oh, so what are they suggesting? What does it play nice with? Crabs. Oh yeah, I suppose so. So crab tribal, you can, yeah, crab tribal. There we go. Yeah, you go crab tribal and squeeze in your homerids. There you go. So, what is... what the hell have I done here? What rabbit hole have I gone down now? So, budget crab tribal. Funny. Remember to paste it this time. Yep, so there we go. Budget crab tribal. I think I'm going to have to put both of those in the I'll include those two decks. I'll just stick them in the description, just for, underneath the listing for the actual deck we're talking about. Yeah, I've definitely gone off topic here, but that's part of the fun. Zombie Musher, another regenerate, but specific to itself. This one, okay. Yeah, hates the set mechanic. Who would have thought? Hates snow. Yeah, regenerates self, which, yeah. Ah, chill to the bone. Yeah, nice artwork.
So destroy target non-snow creature. I was hoping this would be the case. So remove all creature destroy. So there's a ton of stuff. So worse than Baleful Mastery. Instant. Blood Curdle. Deadly Rollick. Hour of Glory. So do we see a pattern here? It looks like, 3 in a black spells. 3 in a black spells that are instant speed and will deal with a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's creatures or planeswalkers. Oh, and actually exiles. And we got Pylon. So I mean the whole, if we were doing this, so CMC 3 in black, and it's an instant, and it has destroy. So 37 cards, actually. Let's make that mono black. There we go. So, did I get that wrong? Hang on. 4, not 3. I was thinking, yeah, what's things like Renflesh doing there? No, it's the 4 instant 4 drops. Okay, so Slaughter. Yes, you've got a few here where there's some additional caveats, conditions and bonus stuff for it being a 3-drop. There's Pylon. We've got Launch Party. So if we go back down the curve, you can sort of see the usual suspects. So here, for instance, like our 3-drop destroy, mono black cards, instant speed, things like Dark Banishing, Hideous End, Murder. And then we go down one more step. So 2 drops. And yeah, you can see again there might be certain conditions here. Actually, one thing I forgot to do is this. Might be better. So we got things like Terror, Doomblade, go for the throat, those sort of things. And then if I do this, I mean basically you can see, okay, we've got the X ones, but other ones, they're either incredibly specific for a 1-drop to do that, or there's some sort of downside. So either there's some sort of fairly selective condition, you can see, or you've got some sort of downside here. Just because I didn't put first printing in, let's just go back up the curve again. Just see what some of the earliest cards were that did that sort of thing. So, yep, there's in their original artworks, there's Dark Banishing. And of course, as we go up higher, you might find that you get additional goodies. Or the you might get sort of partial sweepers. Or more dramatic sweepers possibly. So browse. Alliance is reprinted in 6th edition and then given a special reprint for so that would have, yeah, so you can see here with 6th still using the old style borders. So this one printed in the new borders, and we can see that the sort of, you can see here it's a great one for looking at, you know, how they slightly changed the set symbol. Impulse. Look at the top end cards and put 1 plus of them in your hand, not to be confused with red pseudo card draw effect. Impulsive draw. Ooh. Yep, so been here before. What's that? So that was an enchantment. Do we see it on an... We see it on an enchantment? We do. Funny. Necrosynthesis. Essence Flare. So you can see from Ice Age. Oh yeah, this deprecated power toughness business. Similar to unstable mutation. And it's definitely something I've looked at in the past. There's 38 of those that fall into that category. But it's been a little while, so for people that don't necessarily check in all the episodes, let's just quickly do that. So there you go. Some clockwork thing here. There's Essence Flare. We'll do in Heidar. As you can see, there's several cards here from around that period. So there's Fallen Empires, Ice Age. This would be Homeland, so that would be the original third set from the retrospective Ice Age block. And then we get the retrospective where they kick out this and put in Coldsnap. And there's alliances. Hopefully I've got that round the right way. Did I put these in order? Yeah. It's funny, I always just get Homelands and Fallen Empires muddled up if I'm not like looking it up all the time. Wow. Some classics here. Yeah, I thought the Chimeras would feature into this actually. Okay, Iceberg. Yeah, they just changed the borders really. I'm not sure how many of these are. I think the whole point was they didn't change the artwork, but I could be wrong. Worse than Gemstone Array. So what is this actually doing? So it's an enchantment that comes into play with ice counters on it. You can add ice counters, but for the cost of the 3, and then you remove them. It just adds colourless mana. So yeah, it's a weird like mana filter, in that, you know, you could be paying anything for this, plus you're playing blue to cast it. You're paying anything here to put the ice counters on, but you're getting out colourless mana. So yeah, I don't know whether that's a good filter where you're filtering from coloured to colourless. Anyway, so yeah, it comes under the category of mana filter. 163 of those in Magic. Mana storage, of which there are 53, including the black mana batteries. Mana sink, and as it says here, worse than a Gemstone Array. Put a charge counter on it. Okay, yeah, so Gemstone Array, you get to do any 1 mana of any colour. So that one's doing filtering in the right direction, I suppose. Because the charge counters can be any colour, and it's only 2, and the original casting cost is 4, and that can be any colour of mana. So this one scales off of obviously the X, but yeah. Snow Devil. Gives flying, synergy blocker, gives first strike, and gives flying. Yeah, it's quite a lot of stuff, obviously, that does that. Oh no, I did it again, didn't I? Damn it! I forgot I copied the. Yeah, silly me. What I need is a hotkey for a hotkey for is first printing. That would be really helpful. There we go. Flight and jump. I was just trying to remember what the hell. Updraft, Snow Devil. There's loads, and if you look at auras, as it would be the name. Like retroactively. In fact, what did they do? Yeah, they did on there. So they obviously changed other things on some of these. But if we just do it for auras. So flight, cocoon, air bladder, favour of the overbeing. Yeah, these are interesting cards. These overs. Yeah, Nimbus Wings. That's the one I was trying to think of. Nimbus Wings and Wind Zendikar from this period. I always remember these auras. And because you've got things like Spectral Flight, Ghostly Possession, Sky Games. Yeah. Okay. Arcum's Weathervane. Save the best ones till last. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It just, yeah. It's artifacts again, isn't it? Yeah, there's something about the old school artifacts that just bring a big smile to my face. What is this going to say? Okay, cares about basic lands. Namesake spell. What's that? Untracked indefinite effect. Okay. And it's virtual legendary. Yeah, I can see effects that last forever but aren't tracked by anything. What the hell rabbit hole are we going to end up down here? This is the question. One of the laces, yes, the laces, of course. Ashnod's transmogrant, something like that. I got cocoon, the glyphs. Or is that? That's just one of them, isn't it? Oh, life matrix. Oh yeah, look at these. Oh. Okay. I can't help it. All the artifacts are there. Okay, here we go. There's Arcum's Weathervane. Yeah, the chimeras. Untracked infinite effect. Memnarch. So we're doing untracked indefinite effect tribal in EDH. I don't think they have a deck type for that. I don't think so. Could be wrong. I remember this. Of course, Whip of Erebos. I have these. I should check my Ice Age binder. Coldsteel Heart. Yeah. It's been in, well, Commander once, second time, because of course this was an anthology that featured whatever deck this was from. It does come into play tapped. So 2-drop. So what are they going to say? It's better or worse than? Okay, here we go. Yep, we know it's a mana rock. So better than Fire Diamond. I'm assuming because Fire Diamond just does specific colours. So yeah, better than all the diamonds. Similar to Paradise Plume. Oh, Heraldic Banner. Yeah, I forgot about that. And yeah, Soul Growl. Yeah, Soul Growl, of course, but that's a 3-drop. So Soul Growl doesn't come into play tapped, but it comes down a turn later. So this comes down a turn earlier than that, but does come into play tapped. So the diamonds, yeah, they come into, yeah, so the diamonds do come into play tapped. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I don't normally set homework. That'd be some interesting homework, wouldn't it? 2-drop. I mean, I'm not going to do it because as tempting as it is, we have done 2-drop mana rocks before. But yeah, it's interesting point on the curve for mana rocks in terms of, you know, just seeing what else is on there and why this sort of card isn't more prevalent in Commander product. Yeah, so there we have it. I think I'm going to stop there as well because I must have been burbling on for quite a while. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed this episode actually. Yeah, I have a bit of a soft spot for these theme decks, seeing as I own two already and have definitely sort of looked at the other ones. I mean, you know, probably relatively speaking totally underpowered, but yeah, there's just something about them. And you know, the other thing, the interesting thing to do, take a look at, is take a look at the the legendary creatures from this set. Just so quirky. Yeah, so much fun. And of course, well, I mean, it's not quite. This is a really cool legendary. And yeah, I've got a whole series of Commander fodder, I think, was based all around this. So that's excellent. Okay, thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.